Next time you want to go 50-50 with a man, I just want to remind you that the 19th Amendment doesn't actually give women the right to vote. It just says that if voting is allowed, you cannot discriminate on the basis of sex. And that is a completely different legal implication. So yeah, baby, go 50-50 with a man, even though we have nowhere in the Constitution or any amendments that we can point to show that we have rights. But you do that. Go ahead, baby. Go.
These men are paying for your company. These men are paying for your presence. Please do not let a man inconvenience you into leaving your house, into leaving your warm, cozy bed to sit there and put a game face on and entertain this guy and laugh at his dead jokes, just for him to then say, oh, let's go 50-50.
They shout independence, demand equality, and proudly say they don't need a man for anything until the bill shows up. That's when the whole message changes, the mask slips, and the truth comes out about this so-called 50-50 that a lot of people pretend not to see.
Hi, so I'm a feminist that doesn't believe that going 50-50 with men is feminist, so here are some reasons why 50-50 feminism is not real. Number one, men and women still aren't equal. Whether you like it or not, we're still not equal within society. There's still the gender pay gap. Our reproductive rights vary state by state, and there's so much more that I can get in depth to. So, why would we be equal in dating if we're not even equal in real life? Number two, women's health is understudied and underfunded. You are telling me that the very people that bring life into this world, that their health isn't prioritized, but instead male baldness is more prioritized than women's issues like PCOS, endometriosis? You're kidding, right? Number three is the constant feeling of disgust whenever you go out as a woman and you are just being stared at by men. They're undressing you with their eyes. They're just looking at you up and down, looking at you like you're a piece of meat. Yeah, no. Number four is victim blaming, because every single time a woman comes out and shares her story about how she was assaulted, about how she was harassed by a guy, guys will automatically take the guy's side. Oh, well, do you have proof? Oh, well, what were you wearing? Oh, well, you probably led him on. Just coming up with all of these excuses to shift the blame onto women. And number five, last but not certainly least, is that your presence already brings up a man's social status. If a man is out with a beautiful woman, you can just tell that she has high maintenance, that she has high standards whatsoever. Those men are looking at that man thinking, oh, he probably got money. Oh, he probably has this. Oh, he probably has it all. Also, you can literally look this up, by the way. Married men are most likely to get paid more than unmarried men, because men being in a marriage shows that he's more responsible, shows that he can hold things down. You're telling me that my presence alone is already upping your social status, and I'm supposed to go 50-50 with you? No. And these are one of the many reasons why I don't believe women should be going 50-50 with men, because we're still not treated equally.
She tries to push the idea that since society still isn't fully fair to women, men should make up for that by paying more in relationships. But that's where the contradiction starts. She mixes social problems, systemic injustice, and individual behavior as if all of it becomes the financial responsibility of the man she's dating. On top of that, using beauty, presence, and social validation as economic value sounds less like justice and more like strategically pricing her own company. Deep down, she doesn't want real equality. She wants romanticized advantage.
Let's just get one thing clear. 50-50 is not feminism. 50-50 is patriarchy. And I know I'll have just as many women in my comment section saying, 50-50 keeps me safe. 50-50 makes our relationship equal. But does it? If he disrespects you and you remind him that you paid half the mortgage, does it stop? If he cheats on you or wants to leave after decades of being together, does paying 50-50 make it easier for you to leave? Does it put you in a better position at the end of the relationship? Numbers say no. And the numbers say that paying 50-50 doesn't actually make you any safer. All it actually does in reality is give you the privilege of paying to be near your greatest predator. Because here's the thing, in a 50-50 relationship, this equal relationship, you are still going to be doing all of the things that you would have been expected to do in a provider relationship. You are still going to be having all of the babies, like 100% of them. He's not going to have any of the babies. You are still statistically likely to take on the vast majority of the domestic labor over time, even if it doesn't start that way. You are much more likely to leave the relationship if it ends at a disadvantage. You are still the one put in vulnerable positions, both physically, mentally, socially, all of the above, by being in that relationship. And now with 50-50, you're telling me that it's suddenly equal because the one thing that men were expected to do, bring in a paycheck, is now half your responsibility too? So now you have like 90% of the responsibility and he's got like 10, and that's considered equal? If you need to be giving that much more in a relationship in order to feel safe, that relationship is not safe. If what you're looking for is an equitable relationship, a relationship where there's actually an equal exchange of energy, where you're taken care of as much as you take care of the other person, 50-50 is not going to get you there. And the real secret about it is that men know this too. They know what they're asking for when they ask you for 50-50. They are perfectly aware of the fact that they will end up doing so much less and getting so much more. It's a great deal for them. Of course they're going to ask you for it. Of course he's excited that you're a feminist who's going to pay your own way so that he can get all of those perks, everything that a relationship gives him, without having to even pay for it, without having to do anything. He just has to continue paying the bills, half of the bills, that he would have had to pay anyway. It's bullshit. It's a scam. And it's definitely not feminism. It's patriarchy with lipstick on. So next time a man suggests 50-50 to you, please see it for the scam that it is, okay?
This is the most radical take because it paints men as almost a natural threat and relationships as a setup where the woman always ends up being exploited. Starting from that mindset, any kind of split will automatically look like a scam. The problem is that she calls equality anything that benefits women and patriarchy anything that requires shared financial responsibility. That's not fair analysis, that's fear-based storytelling. If men are really that dangerous, selfish, and absent, then the real issue isn't 50-50, it's choosing to be with a man who has no character.
You have to be careful with a 50-50 man because a lot of them are just waiting to become 100-0 men. The kind that uses you to build a life and then acts like he built it all alone. As a divorce lawyer, I've seen this play out more times than I can count. He enters the relationship saying all of the right things. Hey, we're a team. I support your dreams and you support mine. And in the beginning, it looks completely fair. You both work, you both contribute, you both dream big. But slowly the weight starts to shift. You're covering more of the housework, you're planning the appointments, you're cheering him on through every promotion, every big decision, every late night chasing success. He's climbing higher and faster because you created the stability that gave him the space to succeed. But once he gets to the top, suddenly he forgets how he got there. He forgets the emotional labor, the sacrifices, the late nights that you spent helping him brainstorm, edit, support, and survive. He starts acting like he's self-made, like he pulled himself up by the bootstraps that you actually laced. I've seen women get left behind by the very men that they helped build. And the cruelest part, those same men go on to offer the benefits of your labor to the next woman, with none of the struggle attached. You helped him become the man he is, and now that he feels established, he wants someone who didn't see him before the polish, someone who won't remind him that he didn't do it all on his own. So here's your reminder. Don't overextend yourself in the name of partnership if the partnership is only building one person. Real 50-50 doesn't mean equal money. It means equal vision, equal respect, equal emotional bandwidth, equal recognition for what is being carried and created. You deserve someone who doesn't just rise, but remembers who built the ground that he's standing on.
Do not settle for a 50-50 man. I swear to you, you will pay for it for the rest of your life if you do. First of all, let me just say how wonderful it is to date a man with a provider mindset. My man makes me feel so taken care of, safe, and protected, like he would never let anything ever happen to me. He knows that I can cover my own tab and pay for my own things, but he wants to, without expecting anything in return. For my man, who I'd consider high value, my sincere gratitude and warm smile is all that he needs. He has told me that my happiness is the most important thing to him and that seeing me happy makes him happy. I don't think that saying happy wife equals happy life came out of thin air. When women are able to show up as relaxed, satisfied, and happy, this feeds back to everyone around them. And when I feel taken care of, I want to give back and make sure that all of his needs are also met. Now, let's put the present aside and talk about what's at stake in the future. I am someone who thinks about the future very often, and I have a clear vision on what I want my future to look like. I don't know about you girls, but I eventually want to start a family with my partner. So it's only natural that I want to date a competent man who has the emotional and financial capacity to become my husband someday. No one should dismiss the fact that being a wife and a mother is a full-time job. If I have a choice, I don't want to have to worry about going back to work quickly after I give birth to make ends meet. I don't want to take full responsibility for childcare and household management and also half of the income. It isn't fair to be all of the woman and half of the man. Also, realize that pregnancy is not 50-50. He can't put in 50% in carrying the child, giving birth, and breastfeeding. However, he could show up in different ways and at least take charge of the finances. It's really attractive when your man is able to say, "Don't worry, let me take care of it. I got you, baby." Whenever he sees you struggling, that's the man you want in your life. You know, we only have one life to live, girl, so live it to the fullest. I know it sucks, but comb through all of the scrubs while dating, then end up with a nasty divorce. The divorce rate in the US is 50%, and the top 3 reasons are money, sex, and children. I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for you. I know that there are a lot of men that just want to tear down women and abuse women. I'm sure we'll see some of them in my comment section. But know that there are also a lot of men who don't care about your job and want to provide and treat you well.
What she says is appealing because it touches on something many women want: safety, care, and peace of mind. There's nothing wrong with that by itself. The problem starts when she turns that desire into a moral standard, as if a good man is automatically the man who pays for everything. At that point, the relationship becomes almost like an emotional contract where he proves love with his wallet and she gives back softness, affection, and gratitude. It sounds beautiful, but it's still an unequal exchange dressed up as romance. Independence that requires a full provider is no longer independence, it's emotional convenience.
You know why men saying let's go 50-50 is the biggest scam? Because in every relationship, women always do more. Always. And if you have kids, game over. Not even the best man in the world can truly pull his weight once you become a mom. Like, you will always have done more. First of all, you're birthing the child, right? You're literally putting your health at risk. And then the postpartum hormones that you have to, it's all crazy. So if you have kids, there is no man in the entire world that is ever going to pull his weight like you do. The mental load of being a mom will always outweigh. It's always like 70-30. Women are always the 70%. If a man says he wants to go 50-50 with you, he also means he wants you to pull your weight financially. He wants you to do everything in the house. He wants you to have the kids. Men who are like masculine, good men don't even say 50-50. Like, it's so gross. I can't even say it with like taking it seriously because I don't even have men in my circles that talk like that. Men who say women should go 50-50 in relationships want to drain the life out of you. They want to run you ragged. They want to siphon everything from you. And honestly, they want you to play mommy. They want you to be their mommy figure. That means they want you to be working. They want you to take care of everything around the house. They want you to cook the meals and take care of children. Like, that's not its own thing, all in and of itself. Stay away from these men that say they want to go 50-50. Like, I can't even say that seriously. It's like, duh.
I would rather be single than go 50-50 even with a guy I liked. 50 means your male partner taking extra accountability for the fact that you are a woman, that you are more than likely going to be doing more than half of the household labor, or going to be doing all of the childbearing, almost all of the child rearing, and even if you do make more money than him, you had to work so much harder to get there. And that's why 50-50 may seem feminist on the surface, but in no way is it fair.
Can we talk about one of the most blatant and pervasive double standards in gender dynamics? Some women advocate equality and partnership. But the second it comes to treating men equal to women and women carrying the same load as men, suddenly the goalposts move and equality isn't good enough. Takes like this explicitly preference gender and gender-based stereotypes over individual behavior and relationship dynamics. You can't say we are equal humans while expecting the other gender to pay 100% of the time, perform 100% of the tasks, 100% of the responsibility, or even just an unfair majority. If you want women's supremacy where you men are unequal and inferior, cool. Just own it. But don't wrap up that matriarchal belief in equality packaging. You want modern benefits with old school perks, but only the perks that benefit women. This take reinforces patriarchal belief that men are only worthy for money. It also perpetuates an asymmetry in the relationship, where on the basis of gender, one individual is expected to carry more burdens.
Here, there's some truth mixed in with manipulation. Yes, many women do end up carrying more weight at home and in raising children, and that absolutely needs to be talked about honestly. But she uses that reality to conclude that the man should always bring more money to the table, as if every relationship is unfair from the start by default. That kills the idea of partnership before it even begins. A healthy relationship is not built on historical debt between men and women, but on clear agreement, shared responsibility, and real reciprocity.